Happy Monday again, Panthers. This is the third of 3 videos in which I analyze the campaign platforms of our 3 teams of candidates for student body president and vice president. This video we'll be talking about KaLeigh and Alicia. The first thing that I'd like to say about KaLeigh and Alicia, which isn't something that the other 2 candidate teams can really do much about, but I really like the idea of a bit of continuity in the NISG executive branch. KaLeigh has, in my opinion, done a fantastic job as vice president this year, and her being able to go from that role into the presidential role and continue some of the things that she started with no real drop-off would be really cool to see. Now, I mean, that's not saying that neither of the other teams would do a good job or couldn't get a lot of things done, but the idea of continuity appeals to me a lot. The first thing I want to mention about their platform is under their Senate transparency section, and they mention very briefly that they support the work that's currently being done on getting Senate meetings available via live stream, a thing that I didn't even know was happening. But that's really cool, especially as a member of the student body who is not currently on campus this semester. I follow the NISG meetings on Twitter every Wednesday, but I would like to be able to watch them via live stream as well. Also, even when I was on campus, I would have liked to have them live streamed, because then I could listen to the Senate meeting while doing homework or something like that, and keep up to date on what's going on campus. You guys have to know by now that I love being informed, so any way that I can be more informed about what's going on, I'm a fan of. I also think this would be a great thing for those students who are doing things like studying abroad during the semester, because some of them are even NISG Senate members who then are studying abroad, and they want to know what's happening too when they're not even in the country, and they're probably coming back to campus next semester. The next thing on their platform I'd like to mention is the suggestion box. They mention that this has been a long time coming. This was in Spencer and Ian's campaign platform, that they wanted a suggestion box in the union so that they could get direct feedback from the students on how their administration was doing. And Jordan and KaLeigh have done a great job of keeping that going and keeping pushing for that, and it's finally going to be in the union by the end of the semester and address them. And they say that the responses will be posted on the NISG homepage as they're received, so students will be able to see what all the questions were and what the responses are to them. And I think that's really great, and I think that no matter who wins this election, you need to use the suggestion box, because this is like 2 years in the making. They also mentioned the improvement of the NISG website, which makes all 3 campaigns that have talked about this. They also talk about video tutorials, as Tom and Blake did, but their video tutorials are talking about NISG video tutorials, how to get funding, things like that, things that you would do with NISG. Then we get to what is probably my favorite part of KaLeigh and Alicia's platform, which is building a relationship with the new UNI president. I mentioned this in my original overview video, that I thought it was great that they mentioned Dr. Rudd, and I still don't know if that's how you say his name. I'm a terrible person. It's so important that the student government has a good relationship with the university administration, because the student government can only do so much on their own. And if they have the full support of the administration because they built this great relationship with them from the beginning, then they're going to get more done. And them being the only campaign who's even mentioned in their platform that we just got a new president of our university gives them some points from me. Their ideas on freshman involvement are really interesting as well, especially the freshman forum idea. Freshmen aren't able to serve on NISG because obviously elections take place now, and next year's freshmen aren't here now, so they can't run for those spots. But many freshmen, if you wait until they're sophomores, just won't ever get involved. So if you can get them involved in some way as freshmen, you have more of a chance of getting them to run for a Senate seat their sophomore year or something like that. So this freshman forum seems to be a committee of 8 to 12 freshmen who will meet with the executive branch, essentially, of NISG and discuss specifically things that are affecting the freshmen. This seems like a pretty feasible goal, really. We've seen the cheaper and healthier meal options in the union idea before. I've talked about it before in vlogs, I know this, but Jordan and KaLeigh have done work this year with the union to actually make this happen, hopefully. They're in the process of apparently doing survey work now and then getting actual combos available in the union. In their platform, KaLeigh and Alicia mentioned that they will see these into completion if it doesn't get finished this year, and will also keep talking with the head of this operation after it's implemented to see if each combo is successful and change the options and things like that if need be, so that the cost to eat in the union for students can continue to be minimized as much as possible. They talk about extended commuter parking, and I feel like we've also been here before. We know that some commuters need to be on campus past 1 a.m. even if they're commuters, and they can't park in the D lots then. What are they supposed to do? But I'm really not sure how they're going to fix this. I'm not seeing a real solution in this platform, and maybe they have one, but I'm not seeing it here. But I know that one of the reasons you can't use B lots past 1 a.m. is because they don't have the proper things like cameras and lighting that other lots do that legally allow them to have vehicles there past that time of night. The Panther Shuttle expansion, we've also talked about before. People need to be on campus past 5 p.m. and they need to get back to their home, and they don't want to drive to campus every day. And I get that. So the current thing that Jordan and KaLeigh have been working on in their administration is to add one more run of the Panther Shuttle at 9 p.m. after night classes get out, so you can stay until then and then leave. I think this is a good idea compared to what other administrations have proposed in the past, that they want to just keep the shuttle running later, because we just don't have the money to do that. But one more run might be possible, and so Alicia and KaLeigh are planning to further examine this and hopefully get it to happen. I think the faculty relations section is interesting. We've come a long way in the last year in our ability to communicate with the faculty. We kind of had a breakdown about the end of last year when students and faculty and administration were basically not communicating with each other at all, and we felt as students like we had no part in any of the decisions that were being made. And so this year, KaLeigh was able to get a seat on the faculty senate table, which is awesome, and they also began some meetings with important people from the faculty, and I think that that's great. And obviously, KaLeigh and Alicia want to continue this good relationship with the faculty so that we can continue to have a say in things that happen at our university. KaLeigh and Alicia's platform is very specific, is what I will say about it. They have very specific issues that they are working on. They have very realistic ideas of what they can do to address those issues, and as a result of that, you might see some things missing from their platform. These broad, overarching things that they're talking about aren't there here.